As I'm writing this script, I find myself reminiscing about my time at school as a student through primary and high school. I'm trying to remember if any of the course objectives of understanding deficit, nominalization, and neoliberalism ever affected my education. Was I ever excluded by classmates or by a teacher? Was I bullied or picked on? Did I fit in? Did I ever suffer from being a square peg in a round hole? Was my behaviour in school detrimental to other students, perhaps to my teacher's health, or even to my own? Did the education system I was in suffer from the neoliberal market competition between schools, privatisation, or even class segregation? I find it difficult to remember if any of the above affected me adversely, or even conversely. So perhaps tracing my journey from student to burgeoning teacher might be a way to think these things out and see what kind of teacher I might eventually become. I completed primary school from 1985 to 1990, completed high school from 91 to 1995, and eventually went to university in Queensland, Australia from 1996 to 1999. At school, I didn't have that many friends. I wasn't the smartest, the fittest, the best looking, or even the most popular. But I graduated high school with a high enough OP to study biology and ecology at QUT in Brisbane, and then through some persistent haggling, found a job in my chosen profession as an environmental scientist for an engineering firm. Over the next 16 years, I worked on many of the largest industrial, mining, and civil projects being constructed in Queensland during that time. I earned very good money, travelled the state, met wonderfully intelligent colleagues, and enjoyed the long hours and challenging work situations. I was also retrenched twice, quit my job twice, moved house 16 times, and now I find myself about to start a new career and finalising my university study again for a second time. Only this time, I'm not working for my benefit. I'm working to benefit those who need my help. Why would I want to be a teacher now, after enjoying my other jobs so much? I believe life must have a purpose, and for that purpose to have meaning, it must be more than self-serving. Purpose must have legacy, and to be of benefit to future generations. To me, education meets this purpose. Successful teaching requires knowledge that is passed from one person to another, and that knowledge is correctly applied in relevant and repeatable ways. What I have learned, I want to be able to teach successfully to others so they may live successful, fulfilling, and meaningful lives. Just as I can display these traits to my students, I want to show my students how to be patient, to be encouraging and consistent, to be knowledgeable, to be inclusive, and also to have fun. I want my students to feel that learning is a lifelong endeavour that is not just classroom-based. I want my classroom to be a place where children are motivated to learn and where they are interested and engaged about what they are learning about. I see students at lunch sitting alone. No friends. Maybe they're uncool. Sometimes I wonder why. I want the children to feel supported and included, where their knowledge and individual personalities grow in sync together throughout their school lives. I want to be remembered as the teacher who made time for those students who had no one else left to help them. I want them to understand how useful their education is to everyday life and for their future vocation. I want their education to be something that they have good memories of. I want my students to feel and to be included. And I want to use the curriculum as a tool for that inclusion, to allow all students to try things they never thought of before or thought they could never do before, to not let race, wealth or poverty affect their education, to make sure I do not restrict their thinking but allow thoughts to bloom within their personality, but also with understanding and wisdom growing at the same time. In treating everyone equally, I must ensure my own nominalization does not restrict a student's right to education or their ability to be an individual. Nominalization should not change the behavior or appearance of people with a disability of any kind in the name of achieving their integration and valued role in my classroom. That through using ICT technology, I don't limit those who can't afford to have their own. I want everyone who wants to have the chance to attain higher education, to be all they can and want to be. To see that educational advancement is based on merit and not on how deep your pockets are. That even when applying classroom discipline, I never diminish or devalue a person's self-worth or stereotype a student. Just as my students are imperfect, so am I. But I will learn and improve throughout my teaching career, just as I hope they will learn and improve with me as their future teacher.